Hello, so I thought maybe I should make a video showing you guys how I put together the table um, and the chair. I'll try and make it quick. Um, I'll start off with the table, and the very first thing you're going to want to do is go Shift V, and we're going to look for the reference image and Control A, Control C, and Control V. We're going to learn some shortcuts along the way, so we're just copy pasting. And then we need to make a box. And which side do we want to be the front? I think I want this long side to be the front, so that means on the X, which is this red arrow, I need 118. And then for the Z, I need 74. And for the Y, I need 75. All right, so now to get started on shrinking down the image, Shift V, and I want to say 258 isn't bad, and negative 5.2. And the way I get decimal increments is I hold down Alt and then I click on the arrow and I can move in decimal increments to get it really fine-tuned where I would like it. All right, cool. So that's negative 5.1 and 258. So then I can go negative 5.1 and 5.1, enter, 258, enter, and then just figuring out the X offset now. And that's set. And then same for this one, 258. And I think negative 5.1 could work here as well. And the reason I want to add the table to the top view as well will make sense in a minute. So we're going to do that, and now we have our perfect cube that is the size of our table. And I'm going to make a copy of this, and I'm going to call this cube reference. And I'm going to right click and go render tag display, and I'm going to use this to change it to look like lines. And the reason for that is so that I can have this nice little outline of what my reference size needs to be. And right next to attributes is the layers panel. I can hit the plus and make a new layer. And I can use this layer to lock me from being able to select that cube. And that way I can just work only with the cube I would like to work with and not the other one. Alright, so we've got that in there, and we can go back to the attributes panel, and now I'm going to make another copy, and I'm going to go Alt-G. I'm going to call this backup. Alright, so now that we're going to make this editable, we can go to polygon mode, select the bottom polygon, and drag it way up, and line it up where we would want it, and then from there, let's see, I want to go KL for loop path cut. If I hold down shift, it'll lock me directly in quarter, so I want direct center here, direct center there. And I'm going to make my table only a quarter of the size I need it to be. And so I need the live selection tool, and then I need to hide my backup, so that way I'm only seeing the shape I'm working with. Hold down shift to select more, and then I'm going to use U and I for invert selection. and I can delete those extra ones. And then now I can make, if I hold down Alt while I have the cube selected, so I have my cube selected for my tabletop, I hold down Alt, it puts it in a symmetry, select that symmetry and hold down Alt again, and now that symmetry is inside another symmetry. And then I want to use XY for the very top level, so that way I have the full top again. And NB will show me my geometry. So now we need to make some cuts. So we'll select our cube, and this cube is technically our table. And we need KL, a cut right about here, a cut right about here. And on this side, we need to hit escape, and then a cut right about here, a cut right about here. And if you want to make adjustments after the fact, you can always use this little arrow as well to make adjustments to where it's at. But that's only right after making the cut. All right, cool. We've got that going on. And I wonder, we'll make those cuts later. So next, we're going to select the polygon there on the bottom of our tiny little corner of our table. And from the side view, or pick a view, front or right view, we need to hold down Control and hover over the Z-axis and drag straight down. And I really only want to go as far as this point right before it starts shrinking. Then I'll hold down Control and drag down again. And I want to snap it right to the bottom of this reference cube. So I'm going to turn on my snapping tools. And I'm going to go to Settings, and I want to make sure Edges is on. That way I can snap this right to the edge. And then I want to turn on Enable Access Mode while I'm still in Polygon Editing mode, and I want to snap to the outer edge of this side. And I want to come back over here and snap to the outer edge of this side. There we go. And then I want to switch to T for my scale tool. And I'm going to scale only on this green y-axis. Bring that in. All right, I have to turn off Enable Access Mode, so that way my scaling works. There we go, cool. Brought that side in, and then bring this side in. There we go, cool. We got that lined up. And so now that gives us that little bit of the bow on the leg that is in the reference image. And next, we need to go KL for loop cut, but we're going to turn on symmetrical cut. And we are going to make one cut about maybe here. And as soon as I make the cut, you'll see, as long as I, didn't select something else, my loop path cut tool options are still here, so I can decide my distance. So I want to say 1/2 a centimeter is not bad. And then over here, and same thing, 1/2 a centimeter. Nice. And I also need to make a cut, KL, right here on the on this line right here. So there we go. We have, I think, all the cuts we need now. Now I need the, I can just use the move tool because I just need to select these two polygons, delete them. I'm going to turn off symmetry for now so I can see what I'm doing. And I want to select one of those polygons. And right here from the top view, I want to go in the direction of the, let's see, I want to turn off world coordinate system because it looks like I have that on. I want to go in the direction of the Z right here. So if I hold down Control and start moving towards the Z, you can see I'll snap because I left snapping on. I snap right to the edge, so I know that that's perfectly where I need it to be, and then I'm going to hit delete. And then I also need to select the polygon inside and delete that one. And then same with this other one, which is over here. Hold down Control, drag to the end, snap, delete, select that, delete. And then I can now make a bevel deformer. I can throw that on my table, and I'm gonna need something pretty small. So maybe like 0.1, maybe one more 0.2, and then add some subdivisions so we can get some nice rounding. And now I can turn back on those symmetries, and we got almost a completed table. So, let's see, let's make sure everything is okay, because it looks like I have something going on down here with the bevel. The bevel is acting weird. Let's try making a copy, put it in backup, and I'll take all of these and connect objects and delete, and then go to point mode, Control A, optimize, and then if I put the bevel deformer back on there, it seems fine now. That was interesting. And next thing I want to do is go into edge mode and select the table. And if I double click on an edge, it'll select the loop all the way around. And I want to use MN for dissolve, which is right here, MN. And double click MN, and that dissolves those extra lines in the middle. And now that we have our bevel deformer on there, we can then move on from there. There are some other things you can do to continue fixing the table, but I think this is a good start from here. So I kind of want to start showing you guys the chair next. And you'll want to connect objects and delete with these as well once you make some copies. There we go. And so a good thing to do would be to make a connection on these points. Like say the points from this corner to this corner over here, and then this corner to that corner, and so on and so forth, just to get this line break in the middle to go away. But we'll worry about that another time. For now, next let's work on the chair. So once again, Shift V, and we'll select the chair picture this time. Control A, copy, paste, paste. And then we need a box, we need dimensions. I want the front to be right here, so I need the X to be 41.9. I need the Z to be 48.9. And the height, which is the Y, I need that to be 89.9. And now to start scaling and placing. So we'll use this one as our base and Shift V, scale it way down. All right, and then negative 3.3 and 265. Negative 3.3, 265. There it is. And let's go ahead and move it over on the Y. And I don't like how far away this is from the size, dimension-wise this way, so I'm going to actually take the cube size and shrink in on the X. I know the Z, right. Then Shift V again and offset X. I think that's better. So maybe something like 45.2 instead of 48.9. And then, let's see, the Shift V size was 265. So I can come over here, Shift V 265. And then offset it. Yeah, that works out. Okay. And same thing as I did with the other one, make a copy. This is chair ref. And right click, render tags, display attributes, use guard shading. Instead, I want lines. And then I can make a new layer, throw this in that layer, and lock it. So that way I'm not messing with it. And that leaves me with my line. And now we need to scale down this cube we have, so that way we can use it for the chair. Get it close to the size there, and then now I can make a copy and Alt-G, back up. And now I can make this one editable with C. And I want to select the polygon in the back. So this is the side, this is the back. I want to pull it in until it lines up with the back of the chair. And I need to turn off my visibility for my backup. And then I need T for the scale tool and scale it in until it's about where I want it. And then I noticed that my chair is from the right side not lining up, so I want to go to see camera, and I want to switch from right to left. That way it lines up the way it's supposed to with the chair. And I'm going to just scoot it down. There we go. Maybe scoot it back a smidge more. All right, and then from here, now that we have the base of the chair, let's go KL, which is our loop cut. Hold down Shift to snap to the middle. And then I want UL to select a loop, switch to edge mode, select that. UF will fill my selection, and I only want half. I'll delete that half. And then I want to throw that half, hold down Alt in a symmetry. There we go. And then I need KL for loop cut. And I can start making my cuts. Select the cube for my chair. And so I need to line up with this edge right here for the outer edge, and this edge right here for the inner edge. About right there. And then same for escape for this edge right here and this edge right here. And this edge back here. And then maybe well, we'll leave that like that. And then now we can go to our move tool, select a polygon, and this polygon right here, since it's thinner, I know is the back of the chair. And I want to control drag up and then to the side. And I might want a little bit of rotation. If I hold down shift, that puts me in increments of 5. There we go. And then now I need the bottom one, so this one, and control drag down to maybe right about there. And then I need to drag down again. And I probably want to come over here. So this coordinate system, coordinate manager, right? The option to toggle it on and off is right here. And I like to use this to make sure things are flat. So right here, this is X, Y, and Z. So the Y is not flat. So I want to make that flat. So now the bottom of my leg is flat. I'm going to turn on snapping, settings, make sure edge is on. So that way I can snap it down to the bottom of my box. Cool. And now the front edge, and control drag down, and probably going to flatten this one out early right there. And then maybe a little higher. There we go. Then control drag down again. There we go. Right, we snap to the bottom there. I need KL because I need a cut right here, a cut right here, and a cut right here and right here. And then as for the back of the chair, which is I believe this one right here, there we go. I need a cut right about maybe right about here, right about here. Right about there. And not sure why this is acting so strange. Right about there. And so all these cuts are really just there to prepare us for doing a lot of the same of what we did earlier. And so for these points, I want to turn off snapping. And I want to select these polygons right here and delete them. And then I want to go to edge mode. And I want to select the inner edges right here and right here. Or maybe before that. I think I would prefer to do like we did for the table. We're going to do a bit of insetting. So we're going to do right click and loop path cut, KL. We're going to turn on symmetry. Then we can make our cuts. So maybe 0.5 again. 0.5. There we go. So by doing that, I've given myself that same little inset we did for the table. So move tool, if I select this one, and this one, and then delete, and then edge mode, and I could probably try just double clicking, see what happens when I use bridge. And so you want to select one edge, and you kind of want the edge to line up with the other side. Alright, maybe I can only do it if I only select. So I'll hold down control and drag over these. Let's try bridge again, but with only those selected. Yep, that worked. Alright, so you want only the ones on that side selected. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same as like I did with the table on this one. And delete only the top polygon. Take this middle polygon. I'm going to control drag. And honestly, I'm not going to get it to the center because I want to make it flat first. And then say go to 0x. That'll meet right at the center. And then same for the front, delete, select this one, control drag it in a little, and then we want it completely flat first on the X, and then we want it at the 0 location, which is the center of the world. So that's why we want to be working from the center of the world. You don't want to move your cube around before you size it and everything. And this is why we're doing the chair and the table in separate files, so that way you can work from the center of the world just fine. Alright, so and then now we've got that connected, the other side connected. Temporarily turn off symmetry so that we can make sure that we are getting rid of that inner geometry. Delete, there we go. I can turn that back on. And then we have another one right here to right here. Okay, so we don't have to necessarily delete the polygon on the inside. I do want to make sure, yeah. So we don't have to delete those polygons before we connect them. I guess we can select them and then just connect from one to the other, and that'll bridge it as well. Alrighty, and next we can work on the chair backing, which I'm going to do pretty similar to the way that I did the these edge pieces on the bottom of the chair. And select that polygon, control drag a little bit, and then flatten it out and center it to the world, X. And then same with this one. Control drag first, then flatten it out, then center it. Nice. And then next I need to do some loop path cuts. And I want to say in this case I don't want symmetry on. And I want to select somewhere on this, maybe closer to the inner edge, right? And then I want to select an amount for the size of this bar. And so I think 1.5 is fine because that'll make this 3 across. So now I know I can select here to here, right? And then same, let's see, because the bottom down here will have to be the same. So I'll need to make sure this is 1.5 as well. And then here I'll need to pick a value, so like 4, and here 3. And then go up top and 4 and 3. Oh, too far. 3. There we go. So that way I know that these bars are the exact same size for each of them. And if I would like the bars to be inset, that's an option. You can just bridge from one to the other. So you could select this polygon and this polygon down here, and then do bridge. And then same with that one, and bridge it to this one. And that's fine. You know, you can do that. It looks okay. I would prefer to... I'm going to make a copy. I'm going to connect objects and delete from this one. And then I'm going to select the scale tool, T. And I'm going to do one at a time. So I'll select one, I'll hold down Control, drag, and then Shift. And I want to go maybe like 75%. I'm going to hide the other symmetry, so that way it's not giving me that double looking geometry. Go, same thing, hold down Control, then Shift, 75% of its size. And I want to do this only with the ones I want to connect between the bars. There we go. So now I can probably select half the model again from the front view. Let's go use the rectangle selection. Select half. There we go. So now we only have half a chair again. And we can turn back on this symmetry, delete that cube, put the new one in there. Oh, looks like we deleted a little too much. There we go. I think the easiest way to do this than trying so hard to struggle to get exactly half. My favorite way of doing it is to just do edge selection and select the center edges of everything, and then go UF and fill select. What is happening here? Oh, I guess point mode, Control A, optimize. Then UL should work just fine in edge mode. Yep, there it is. There we go. Fill selection. There we go, and that gets exactly half. And now that we have exactly half, we can do our bridging. So right click, bridge tool. Can bridge from this one to this one, and this one to that one. There we go. I want to make sure we delete any inner geometry. quite sure what that is or why I'm getting it. There you go, just turn off visible only, and then so if you run into that issue, if you don't get that, great, you did better than me. Alright, cool. So we got this far, and I'm going to use loop selection again. And in edge mode, I'm going to select this loop and this loop, and I want to make sure that, yep, they are perfectly flat and perfectly centered. Turn back on my symmetry. Get rid of my old cube, put my new cube in there. And now we have this nice inset bars on the chair, and now all we need to do is add a bevel, put that under the cube. Same as the table, it needs to be real small, like 0.1 or 0.2, something real small. And you'll want to check with NB on so you can see just how close the edges are when you do this, because they can end up overlapping and you'll run into some tearing and issues like this. So maybe, yeah, with 0.1 it doesn't warp as much. Okay. Well, that's about it with that. Same thing with the center line. As soon as you connect objects and delete with these, you'll want to take that center line and just MN dissolve it. Now you have a nice solid chair. And don't forget to do your mesh checking and all that kind of stuff as well. Make sure you don't have any inner geometry and stuff. If you have any red lines on your mesh checking, it usually means that there's geometry on the inside that you want to get rid of. But I believe that's all for that. I hope this helped at all. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Slack. Bye-bye.